that's a great step, right? Reducitarian. The way I think about it, though, is like, say you only eat pig once a year, right? Does it matter to that individual pig that you're not eating any others, or would they still have to, be the victims?
Now, that's a very loaded question.
What's up, everybody? My name is Natalie. I'm here with Lynn, and today we're going to be talking about the Holocaust. So I'm going to read a couple quotes from Holocaust survivors, and you'll just tell me what you think about them. So the first one comes from Viktor Frankl. Have you ever heard of him? He wrote Man's Search for Meaning.
Yes, I have heard of him.
Have you read it, or?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's really good. I recommend everyone read it. It's a great book. Okay, so this quote: "Freedom is not the last word. Freedom is only part of the story and half of the truth. Freedom is but the negative aspect of the whole phenomenon, whose positive aspect is responsibleness. Freedom is in danger of degenerating into mere arbitrariness unless it is lived in terms of responsibleness." What do you think about that quote? Did it make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
I think responsibility is something that people are avoiding these days, and have been for quite a while. I was born in 1947, just as World War II was ending, and my father and all of my uncles were in the war. I came through that era, and came through Vietnam, and came through the Iraq War. And there's a lot of people who do not take responsibility for any part of that.
For their actions or anything, you mean?
I think so. And today, with society being so divided, this is the most divided I ever remember.
Yeah.
Society being, and responsibility is certainly a part of that.
Yeah. And this quote goes on to say, "I recommend that the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast be supplemented by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast." I think that would be a good idea, too.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? I guess they've been trying to make it happen for like 30 years, and it hasn't really got anywhere. So I guess, it'd be nice if they got more responsible about that statue as well.
I was interested to see that there was a Holocaust memorial here.
Down by the river?
Yeah, I stopped today to look at it, and I haven't been to the museum in Washington, but
It's really sad.
I know. I've read a lot about it, and I had a semi-relative who was in a camp. And
Yeah, my mom converted to Judaism after I was born, so I'm not technically Jewish, but I did go to Hebrew school and was taught by a Holocaust survivor. Her name was Mira Kimmelman, and she was just like always cold. It could have been 90 degrees in the room after marching through the snow. But yeah, it was just really awful. All right, I'm going to read another quote by a different Holocaust survivor, Isaac Bashevis Singer.
Oh, the author.
Yeah. "In relation to animals, all people are Nazis. For the animals, it is an eternal Treblinka." What do you think about that quote? Do you agree, disagree?
I have to think about that for a moment.
Yeah.
I don't think I agree.
Okay. So what are the differences that you would see between the two situations?
Well, it's probably my perspective, but I don't equate the animal world with the horrors of Nazism.
Yeah.
That's a rather wide-ranging philosophy to do so. I think for someone who had been through the Holocaust, I can see them definitely comparing themselves to animals who have no rights.
Especially after the guards were always, treating them like animals and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, and beneath animals. I've read a great deal about the Holocaust. And,
so I guess I'll go through.
I've heard that quote before.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I guess I'll go through kind of some of the similarities that I see, and I would agree with you that, obviously it's not a direct one-to-one comparison,
Right.
but some of the similarities: individuals are stripped of their freedom and treated as objects. Individuals are confined to an area where they suffer. Individuals are subjected to death. In many cases, for the animals, that involves gas chambers, like pigs, and sometimes chickens are killed in gas chambers. So those are kind of the similarities that I see. What do you think about that?
I didn't know chickens or pigs were killed in gas chambers.
Yeah, most people don't. It's kind of shocking, huh?
Well, I mean, I've always felt that the captured folks were treated like animals, but I never went that next step to phrase it as he did in that quote.
He phrases it pretty strongly.
Yes, yes, he does.
Do you consume animal products?
Yes.
Yeah. Any ones in particular?
Well, I don't eat a lot of meat. I do like pork. Unfortunately, because I love pigs.
After you learned about the gas chambers, will it make you think twice?
Where did that happen?
So like where are they killed in gas chambers? You mean?
Yes, I mean.
Yeah. So it's
in the Midwest?
yeah, standard practice in the U.S. and all over the world. It's around 80 to 90% of pigs are typically killed in gas chambers. It's considered more humane because, pigs don't like walking in single file lines, so they put them in 2 to 3 at a time. They lower them into the CO2 gas. Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know. I feel so ignorant.
No,
I didn't know that.
They hide these things from people, because we're always told like, oh, it's humane, the animals are happy. It's marketing, right? But at the end of the day, they're trying to make money off of us,
Well, my partner passed away a few years ago, and she was very interested in animal rights, especially chickens at that time. But she was a member of PETA, and she did a lot of different things. I don't know if she knew about that. If she did, I think she would have told me. But that's awful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a big fan of the FDA and their policies.
You can't really trust them.
I'm not a fan of the big meat packing people, like Sinclair Lewis and whatever talked about. I think the way we treat animals in this country is pretty horrid.
Yeah. Would you say they're tortured?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah. Would you ever consider stopping buying animal products? Like, do you think it would make a difference, or?
My only reason for not stopping completely is that it's a little difficult to get all of your to set up your diet so that you are getting all of the protein and all of the things you need. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love every vegetable there is.
Yeah.
And I've just never taken that step.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't eat much, but
yeah, you definitely. Before I went vegan, I thought it was going to be really hard, and I'm like really lazy, so I was like, I don't even think I can do it. And I found it to be very easy, especially when it comes to protein. All plants have protein, and lentils have like a ton. Beans. They also have that meat, or the plant-based meat that like tastes the same as meat now. That usually has a lot of protein and B12.
I've actually had that. It tastes. I tried. I don't know, one of those Impossible burgers or something.
Yeah.
I think the world tried one at Burger King or whoever had it, and it tasted to me just like the real thing, which I order if I ever go to one of those places.
Do you think like the taste, like the enjoyment that you would get from eating these products, does that justify what animals go through?
That's a pretty deep question.
I know. Thought-provoking, right?
Yes. No, I actually don't think that. I hate pausing, but I need to think.
Oh, take your time. Take your time. I enjoy seeing people think, because that means that, they're thinking.
What? Oh, this sounds so insignificant. One of the things I think about is that when you gather with your family for a celebration or something, and you can't eat what they're serving, and so you have to travel with your own food, or you're a little bit of a burden. I don't mind the sensibilities of them saying, like, what are you doing that for? I mean, that doesn't. I'm too old for that to bother me.
Yeah. So you mean more like the practicality of like traveling?
Right, and doing that, and like being out here and trying to find. Well, I mean, there's a lot of shrimp, and there's a lot of seafood in general, which I enjoy, but not all the time. I mean, that's not.
There's a website that's created to solve this particular problem. It's called happycow.net. You can put in your location. It shows you all the options around you, and then people rate and review them. So like here in the French Quarter, when I first went vegan, I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna eat in the French Quarter anymore. I put it into Happy Cow. There's like 30 places. I went to this Chinese place last night. I had like the best vegan chicken. It was so good. So it's one of those things that once you know how to look and where to look, it becomes very easy. And now my favorite part of traveling is like finding new vegan places, which I wouldn't have expected. Do you think
I'm gonna think seriously about it. I can hear Annie on my shoulder.
That was your partner?
Yeah, that was Annie. I might have to think about that, or I would become at peace with eating very rarely. I mean, not total peace, but
yeah. I mean, I think that that's a great step, right? Reducitarian. The way I think about it, though, is like, say you only eat pig once a year, right? Does it matter to that individual pig that you're not eating any others, or would they still have to, be the victims?
Now that's a very loaded question.
Yeah.
I know the argument, one tiny step leads to the next.
That's true as well. I think both can be true, right?
I would still eat that pig once a year. Well, this is my last day. This has certainly been an informative way to end that.
Well, I'm so glad, and I'm glad that you didn't get mad about the Holocaust comparison or anything like that. I'm not trying to piss anyone off or anything.
No, the Holocaust to me is just so automatic. Well, not that it's going on today. I mean, it hasn't stopped.
I know, it's awful. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lynn. I truly
Thanks,
appreciate
Annie.
it. Yeah, let's cut it.